Good evening, dear friends, wherever you are tonight, perhaps sitting in your favorite chair. A warm cup of tea resting nearby. I'm truly grateful you're here with us. This channel is a quiet space. A place to slow down, to breathe a little deeper, and to listen to stories that feel familiar. Stories that carry warmth, memory, and meaning. Tonight's story is about moments we may have all known in one way or another, the small turning points, the gentle lessons, and the quiet strength that only time can teach us. So settle in, make yourself comfortable, and let's begin. Some men spend their whole life chasing the open road, thinking freedom means happiness. Steve Walker believed that for more than 40 years, he drove trucks across every state in America, from the burning deserts of Arizona, to the frozen highways of North Dakota, to the long empty roads in Texas where the sky feels bigger than the world itself. At truck stops, he used to say the same thing to anyone who would listen: a man with a full tank of gas and nowhere to be, that's the luckiest man alive. Back then. He meant it. Back then. He believed the road could give a man everything he needed. He didn't know the road also takes things away. Things you don't notice are gone, until there's nobody left to come home to. Steve was 70 years old the Thanksgiving night he realized that. He was parked outside a small gas station in Pennsylvania, engine off, heater barely working, a plastic container of microwave turkey sitting in his lap. He had bought it inside the station along with a cup of coffee that tasted like burned metal. The cashier wished him a happy Thanksgiving. Steve nodded, didn't say it back. He carried the food to his truck and climbed into the driver's seat, closing the door slowly like the cold might follow him inside if he moved too fast. Across the street there was a small house with yellow light glowing through the windows. He didn't mean to stare, but he did. Inside, he could see a long table, people sitting close together, kids laughing, someone carving a turkey. An old man at the end of the table bowed his head. Steve knew what that meant: grace. His mother used to do that every Sunday. He hadn't thought about that in years. He picked up the plastic fork, took one bite, then stopped chewing. The cab of the truck felt too quiet. He turned off the radio, listened to nothing, just the ticking sound of the engine cooling down. He whispered to himself without meaning to, "Well, Steve, this is what you wanted. Freedom. No wife asking where he'd been. No kids needing money. No boss telling him what time to show up. Just him, and the road. And a microwave Thanksgiving dinner in a truck stop parking lot." His eyes filled with tears before he even realized it. He wiped them fast and looked around like someone might see. Nobody did. There was nobody to see. That was the problem. Steve Walker hadn't always been alone. He grew up in Ohio, the only son of a quiet factory worker and a mother who believed every problem in life could be fixed with prayer. His father worked 30 years in the same building, same shift, same lunch pail, same chair at the kitchen table every night. Steve swore he would never live like that. He wanted movement, he wanted space, he wanted a life where nobody told him where to be. So at 22, he got his commercial license, packed a bag, and left. The first time he drove across the country, he said it felt like breathing for the first time. Miles of highway, nothing but engine noise and sky, no expectations, no responsibility, just the road. He fell in love with that feeling, and he never really stopped chasing it. He met Linda when he was 25. She worked at a diner outside Columbus. Brown hair, soft voice, the kind of smile that made a man feel like maybe he could be better than he really was. She liked that he was a truck driver, said she liked a man who wasn't afraid of hard work. Steve liked that she didn't ask too many questions. They got married in 1978. Small church, fold-out chairs, cheap suit. His mother cried through the whole ceremony. Linda held his hand like she believed he would never let go. Steve believed it too, at least that day. At first. He tried, he really did. He came home when he promised, fixed the sink, cut the grass, sat at the table for dinner, went to church with her on Sundays even though he never liked sitting still that long. But the road was louder. One extra trip turned into two turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. Truck stops became home, coffee at 2 a.m., country music on the radio, neon lights outside bars where nobody asked where you had been. He made friends everywhere, mechanics in Oklahoma, waitresses in Kansas, bartenders in Nevada, and women. Too many women. He told himself every driver lived like that. Every man on the road had stories he never told his wife. He told himself Linda understood. She didn't. She waited. Every night she waited. Sat at the kitchen table long after the food got cold. Listened to the sound of cars passing outside, hoping one of them would stop in the driveway. Sometimes it did. Most times it didn't. The day she left, he had been gone 3 weeks, when he walked into the house. It felt wrong immediately. No TV, no radio, no smell of coffee, just silence. He saw the ring on the table first, then the note, 3 lines. I can't do this anymore. I hope you find what you're looking for. Goodbye. He read it twice, then folded it and put it in his pocket like it didn't mean anything. He told the guys at the bar that night she couldn't handle the life. They nodded, bought him a beer, said he was better off. Steve laughed with them, but later, sitting alone in his truck, he stared at the empty passenger seat for a long time, longer than he ever admitted to anyone. He never saw Linda again, not for almost 40 years, and he never knew that when she walked out that door, she wasn't alone. That Thanksgiving night in Pennsylvania, Steve leaned back in the driver's seat and closed his eyes. His mother's voice came back to him, clear as if she were sitting beside him. Someday, Stephen, you'll learn a man can run from home for a long time, but he can't run from God forever. He opened his eyes and looked at the house across the street again. Family still laughing, lights still warm, life still going on without him. He whispered, "Too late now, Ma." But deep down, for the first time in 40 years, he wasn't sure that was true, and that was the night the road stopped feeling like freedom, and started feeling like something he had been hiding on. He didn't know it yet, but the road was about to take him somewhere he never planned to go. Back to Ohio, back to the past, back to the woman he lost, and to the son he never knew he had. Steve woke up before the sun came up. He didn't really sleep that night. The cold in the small garage room seemed to get worse after midnight, and every time he closed his eyes, he heard Anna's voice again. "We can't keep doing this, David. He's not a child." Steve slowly sat up on the narrow bed. His back hurt. His hands trembled as he reached for his glasses. On the wall, the small wooden cross hung where it always had. He stared at it for a long time. "Lord, give me patience," he whispered. "Please, help me not to hate my own son." He stayed there for a moment longer, then forced himself to stand. He opened his wallet. $3 and some coins. He nodded to himself. "Walmart. I can get something cheap there." The parking lot at Walmart was already busy. People walking fast, cars coming and going, families laughing. No one noticed the old man moving slowly toward the entrance. Steve grabbed a cart, mostly to lean on it. He walked through the aisles carefully, reading every price tag. Bread, discounted. Canned soup, cheapest brand. Milk, small bottle only. He picked things up, then put them back. He stopped at the blanket section. A thin gray blanket was on sale. Steve touched it with his fingers. Soft, warmer than the one he had. He stood there for a long time. Then he shook his head. "No, I'll be fine." He turned away. "Steve," the voice came from behind him. He froze. Slowly, he turned around. A woman stood a few steps away, holding a basket. Her hair was gray now, but her eyes looked the same. Steve frowned, trying to remember. "I'm sorry. Do I know you?" The woman smiled gently, but her eyes filled with tears. "It's me, Linda." Steve blinked. Linda. The name hit him like something from another life. "Linda? From Maple Street?" She nodded. "I never moved." For a moment, neither of them spoke. Linda looked at his coat, his hands, his cart with only a few cheap items. Her expression changed. "Steve, are you okay?" He forced a smile. "Of course. Just getting old. That's all." Linda didn't smile back. "You were never a good liar." Steve looked down. His eyes became wet, but he turned his head so she wouldn't see. "I'm fine. Really." Linda stepped closer. "Are you still living with David?" Steve hesitated. "Just 1 second. Yeah." Linda's eyes narrowed slightly. "Steve, look at your cart." He didn't answer. She lowered her voice. "You don't shop like this if everything is fine." His hands tightened on the cart handle. For a moment, he almost said the truth. Almost, but instead, he whispered, "I don't want to cause trouble." Linda closed her eyes for a second. When she opened them, they were full of pain. "You raised that boy alone after Mary died." Steve swallowed. "That was a long time ago. Not for a parent," Linda said. But some stories don't end at a grocery store aisle. That night, old wounds would begin to open, and long-buried truths would finally come to light. In part 2, Steve will discover that the past he thought was finished has been waiting for him all along.